All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the men who rule well and the men who taught us as truth. All right, and we're going to go in on a topic, for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. All right, we're going to be talking about Jacob's trouble. Okay, so we're going to bring out the first precept in the book of Jeremiah. All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
Which that day, of course, obviously is talking about what? Jacob's trouble, right? And go ahead. And Jacob's trouble, Jacob, that's talking about, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the nation of Israel. All right, there's going to be a time of trouble, not just, for the 2/3 of our people, but also, really that is a time where all of us are going to be tried, even the elect, because we're gonna still be here when that happens, when that time of trouble comes, So go ahead and reread that, Baba Kasha.
Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it.
Right, that day, so that none is like it, because during the time of Jacob's trouble, all right, and we're going to get out some of the things that are going to happen in those times, because it's going to be a really evil time, which the word evil means bad time, Eve meaning time, ill meaning bad, all right? It's going to be a real evil time in those times, and there's going to be basically, like it says right here, so that none is like it, because, even the times past would have befallen upon the nation of Israel. This is going to top that. This is going to be worse than that, and there's, when you read the scriptures of what happened in our history, we had a very, a lot of bad things happen to us, but this is going to be even worse, that's why it says so that none is like it, As a matter of fact, get Daniel's 12th chapter real quick, 12 and 1.
Very good. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
Keep reading.
And there shall be a time of trouble.
All right. See, those times of trouble is going to be so bad that Michael the archangel is going to have to stand up for the elected. Reread that part.
I'd start from the top.
Time.
Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the people of, for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Even to that same time.
Like it says, such as never was a nation. That's how bad it's gonna be. All right, and we're gonna get it in Esdras. All right, we're gonna get that in the book of Esdras. Where it goes a little bit deeper into it. Because in go ahead. Because in those times it's gonna be so bad, right? There's gonna be race wars, okay, famines, all types of pestilences, As a matter of fact, we're gonna start off in start at 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse. We're gonna start it at verse 10, just to point out the whole Egypt thing. Verse 4.
No, verse 5.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
I'll start at
and
verse
then we'll go to that.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, start
This
verse 5.
is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Yeah, these are the things. These are those plagues that are gonna befall. All right, go ahead. It's gonna come upon the earth,
Verse 6: For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Right, yeah. The whole earth is Salakia. Like it says here that the earth is polluted and all that. How is that so? Because of the wicked philosophies. When you go into the book of Job, the 9th chapter, the 24th verse. The scriptures say that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Well, that means that since the so-called white man is running everything, people are drinking that Babylon juice. They're in those other philosophies, which in turn brings forth wickedness, all types of wickedness. And we're actually going to go into that. Skip down to the 10th verse, going into Egypt.
Okay, this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 10.
Actually, wait, Salaki. Start actually at 11. Start at 11.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, as before.
Yeah, you see, it says Egypt as before. All right, now is that talking about Salakia? Is that talking about the actual Egypt. It's talking. No, it's actually talking about America. Revelations 11:8, and hold it, because it's talking about America, because what America is the new Egypt. All right. Go ahead and do it.
This is Revelations chapter 11, verse 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city."
Which that great city is talking about America, and those dead bodies is talking about what those Israelites that are spiritually dead, man. All right, go ahead.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Yeah, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right, so that means that it spiritually takes on those two places, right? Which what Sodom, as we know, Sodom and Gomorrah was filled with a lot of immorality. All right, for sexual immorality and stuff like that, and America is big on that. All right, for example, just a quick example, you see here people from all different nations that come here, and they can do whatever they want here. You got Ishmaelites that come here and become homosexuals because they can't do that in their countries because they get put to death. But in America, you can do that. All right, spiritually, Egypt, of course.
You have a lot of like foreign tourists going to places like Las Vegas, which they even deem Sin City.
Exactly. You got people from all over the world coming here to go to like the bus Vegas.
Especially those especially the heathen with a lot of money in their pockets. They even go to Las Vegas to fill out their what do they call it? Their wicked fantasies.
Right, exactly. All types of immorality, just wickedness, And spiritually Egypt, because what? The Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those of you of confusion of face that are also Israelites, this is where we're in captivity all together, all right? All the tribes, And of course, the classic, I'm going to pull out a dollar, because you got the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. Why would there be a pyramid on the back of a dollar bill, man? You got to look at it with your spiritual eye. This is spiritual Egypt, all right? And, that's just the point I wanted to touch on, just to let you know this is talking about America, because in the scriptures,
read the rest.
Oh, yeah, wait, now give me a second. Because what? Egypt, right? So, like, America, in the scriptures is known as Egypt, spiritual Egypt. It's known also as Babylon. There's nicknames for this. There's Salaki. Yeah, these are like the parables, These are the secrets, They give you, the scriptures give you, like how some they call it slang, right? It's kind of like that, because the Lord speaks, in parables, all right? You got to learn how to spiritually read this. This is codified spiritually, Go ahead and reread Revelations.
Okay, I'll just read it again. Revelations 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city.
Right, because the spiritual dead, they're spiritually dead because what? A lot of our people don't know who they are, and that's spiritually dead, man. All right, go ahead.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Yeah, and real quick, harping on that. Of course, we know that the Lord was crucified in Golgotha, right? Well. We know that's actually talking about the image of our Lord being X'd out. They put up the false image. All right, they don't teach the truth about what's written in the scriptures. They don't teach you that he is indeed a dark-skinned man with white woolly hair, which is according to what's written in the book of Revelation, the 1st chapter. All right, but back on and just explaining on that part, about the where also our Lord was crucified. So now we know that Egypt is indicative of America. Now we're going to go back to the book of Esdras. Go back to 2nd Esdras.
I got it. 2nd Esdras 15. Verse 10.
11.
11.
Let's go to 11.
Verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Right, because there was many plagues. We're not going to get into those. We're going to talk about the new plagues, but it's like the plagues of America, because when you read about the plagues in Egypt, many bad things happened in Egypt. When which was our first deliverance, right? The nation of Israel. So now we're going to read about the plagues that are going to befall the new Egypt, America. All right, go ahead. Start at 12.
Verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punished that the Heavenly Father shall bring upon it. Punishment that the Most High will bring upon it.
Go ahead, keep reading.
They that till the ground shall mourn.
Oh wait, Salakia. Did you want to just go down to the
Verse
plagues?
14.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Salakia. I didn't. Salakia.
Woe to the world. So like I will start again. Second Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Right, which swords in their hands. That's indicative of what? Instruments of war. All right, which it says here, one people shall stand up to fight against another. There's gonna be people, literally out here having race wars and killing each other, man. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are gonna be a target.
That's why it's called Jacob's trouble.
Exactly, that's why it's called. Yeah, exactly like the brother said. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble. Because 2/3 of you, that's your judgment. All right. Because what those are those plagues that are gonna befall Egypt. All right, there's gonna be all types of madness coming down upon here. If I'm gonna get this real quick in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. Because this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And this is just, also those things that are gonna, happen in the last days, which that we are living in the last days. All right. And nation shall rise against nation. That's talking about race wars. So go back to Second Ezra.
I'll read it again. Second Ezra 15 and 15.
Oh no, go to. Did you have something to say about it?
No.
Oh wait, go to 16.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men.
Right, and we're gonna get that word sedition, but go ahead and reread it from the top.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Yeah, it says in the word sedition on the Edom Online, which is where we're going to read it off of. I don't think they're going to be able to see that. Oh, it's not going to show. But anyway, the word sedition, it's a noun. Mid-14th century, rebellion, uprising, revolt, concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority, violent strife between factions, civil or religious disorder, riot, rebelliousness against authority. Yeah, and these are all those things. Keep reading. I'm gonna keep reading it. Civil disorder, dissension, strife, rebellion, mutiny, literally a going apart, separation. Right? Because, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're gonna be, like we said, you're gonna be a target. And these are the things that are gonna happen. People aren't gonna be united anymore, because right now, of course you got, the smart ones, they're getting together with their own nation, but you got Jake out here being friendly with everybody, and the scriptures say to not trust your enemy.
Oh,
if I can get that real quick.
Yeah, that's what the scriptures say also, the love of many shall wax cold.
Yep, there you go. If you can get that, if you want, you can get it, if you want to. I know you don't got your phone on you, so it's all good. I'm going to read this real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus, or Book of Sirach, chapter 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Yeah, we're not supposed to trust our enemy. Our enemy, of course, the heathen, but more specifically, the nation of Esau, Edom, the nation of Edom. All right, the so-called white man. All right, and like I was saying, right, everybody else, is starting to cleave on to their like. You Jakes, are foolish, the majority of you, because what? You want to hold hands with the so-called white man, all right? And that's a big mistake, man. You can't be doing that. Them being our number one enemy, man. But go ahead and go to 17, second Ezra. Yeah.
Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Yeah, exactly. Men are gonna be, afraid. Oh, that reminds me of that one precept. The mighty man.
But what?
Actually, it's in Jeremiah. I'm gonna get it real quick.
Okay. I'm going to Luke.
Yeah, go ahead and get that on Luke. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, and verse 6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child, which men don't travail with child, Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, right? Because, those men that don't have, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding are going to be afraid, man. All right? Because when you read the book of Isaiah, all right, the 33rd chapter, I'm going to get it actually, just, because just for edification's sake, it just came to mind,
Can I read this too?
Yeah. Give me a second. Explaining this. Because in those times, right, the men that for us brothers, the men that we see that aren't in the truth, and because Lord willing we're part of that number, because that deliverance of Jacob's trouble is going to be for the elect. So Lord willing we're part of the elect, will be delivered. But those men that aren't in the truth, those men that we see that aren't in the truth, man, they're not going to have stability. All right, they're not going to be stable. Okay, their faith is gonna, they're not gonna have their faith isn't in the right place, so to speak. All right, and this is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is his treasure. Salakia, give me 1 second. Or Salakia, but yeah, because while these two-thirds of our people, all right, and Jake is out here just chilling, us men, we've been eating the roll, and building up our faith, all right. And actually, as a matter of fact, I just remembered another precept. But yeah, the wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures is going to be our stability, all right, and those times, man. And really quickly, I'm gonna go into the blue letter and get that word stability, because it's actually really good. 33. Wisdom and knowledge, Isaiah 33 and 6, and the word there for stability is amawana, which means firmness, fidelity, steadfastness, steadiness, Yeah, that is gonna, our faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is gonna keep us stable, and these words that we've been learning, the words that we've been putting our faith in, it's gonna keep us stable in those times, We're going to remember certain scriptures in those times and be comforted by these scriptures, This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Right, because these are, for example, that's just a perfect example of something that we're going to have faith in those times. We're going to remember this. All right, we're going to remember these scriptures in those times, man. Because it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. It's going to keep us firm. Salak is going to keep us firm and stable, man. But, hey, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just want to get this up because if you notice, the brother's getting a lot of precepts where it says, men shall act like women, so to speak. They shall act like a woman that travaileth with child.
Yeah, because men don't give birth.
Yeah, so that's metaphorically saying the mighty men, men in general, they're gonna act like women.
Exactly.
And that's not even an insult. That's just to be accurate.
Right, because in those times, we were explaining, these men aren't eating the roll. They aren't going through the bitterness of right now. They aren't going through the hard parts of building up your faith. They aren't going through the hard salakia. Because if I could say, the scriptures say that, with wisdom, at first she will walk with him by crooked ways, right? They're not going through the torment of obtaining this to be stable in those times. They're not going through going through that hell, because we're catching hell right now. And in those times, of course, it's still gonna be like trials, but it says that we're gonna be stable in those times, man. All right, go ahead, Salak. I didn't mean to ramble on.
No, it's called to open. The fact that the brother said that to be stable or to have a form of stability, that should give you a clear idea that this ain't gonna be a pretty time. Another word, another synonym, so to speak, for stable was to be sane. So it is to be
not soundness of mind.
So it's not gonna be
Oh well, that definition says steadiness, firmness, stable. So
what? That should tell you that it's not gonna be an easy time to go through. It's not gonna be. Hence the name Jacob's trouble. Right?
Yeah, and like it mentioned, Salak, I didn't want to cut you off. It said that there's never been a time like it. So hey, it's gonna be that bad. All right, and I believe, and I heard brothers always, the Shariam always say that. That when it's Jacob's trouble, you're not gonna be asking if we're in Jacob's trouble. You're gonna know. You're gonna know,
Yep.
Go ahead.
This is I'll just read this just to give Akima a clear mind of what we're dealing with, what's gonna come to pass. This is Luke 23 and 29. For behold, the days are coming, which is what Jacob's trouble, right? In which they shall say, "Blessed are the barren." And barren, barren essentially means the inability or not having the ability to produce of its kind. Essentially, this concerns the women. Blessed are they that can't have children. And if any brothers see any survival type shows, movies like The Walking Dead, so to speak, one of the main themes, and you notice in the terms of survival, is that they say, you better not have like another child or a suckling child, because it's another mouth to feed. So blessed are they that can't have children.
Right. That's how bad it's gonna be. It's gonna say it's literally saying that those who can't have kids are blessed. That's how bad it's gonna be, man. Lord willing, we're part of the elect. We'll be delivered in those times, man. But did you go back to Esdras?
Okay. This is second Esdras.
15 back 19. To 15.
Yeah, I'm in verse 19. That's it.
Oh right. Oh yeah, and these, mind you, like we read. Salaki, I'm in the wrong chapter. No wonder I was like, what? Salaki. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, we're gonna get more into. Okay, go ahead, Salaki.
Second Esdras 15 and 19. A man, just expanding on the point, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation.
Right, lack of bread, because there's gonna be famines, man. Of course, there's gonna be a famine of the word also that's coming, which is the men, we're not gonna be on the streets, anymore, But this is lack of bread, which that's talking about lack of food. Lack of the lack of food is a famine. All right, there's gonna be literally famines out here, man. All right, people aren't gonna have food to eat, water to drink, and such. All right, and we're gonna go up now to the 16th chapter.
Oh God.
Read the first verse.
Okay, this is Second Ezra 16 and 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon.
All right, stop right there. Babylon is talking about America. All right, so now this is talking about the plagues still going. Well, of course, like we read in the 15th chapter, the plagues upon Egypt. Egypt is America, right? Babylon is also indicative of America. That's another, code name for it, if you will. All right. So now let's go into some of those things that are going to befall Babylon. Go ahead.
Second Ezra 1 and 1. I'll just finish that off.
Oh no, wait. Yeah, go ahead.
Second Ezra 16 and 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, and Asia, and woe be unto thee, Egypt, and Syria. You want to skip down
to... go to the verse you wanted to get. Do you remember which one?
It's just 39.
39. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Second Ezra 16 and 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those days be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Yeah, right. Because in those times, the men of the Lord willing, we're part of that number. We're gonna be like pilgrims upon the earth. We're gonna be, moving through the spirit, man. We're not gonna, stay in one place. Because of course, some brothers, lots are gonna be, to go to concentration camps, and such like that. Because that's another thing that we should have mentioned. There's gonna be, and you can even look up videos on it. There's concentration camps, everywhere, man. The WalMarts, all right.
FEMA camps.
Yeah, FEMA camps. All right. There's one. I believe there's one in Maryland. There was a video a brother put up, and it showed one in. There was a like a little base in Maryland that had what, and I think it was Hagerstown, right? It's not that far.
It's in the DMV area.
Yeah, it's in the DMV area, and DMV's, we're all close to each other. DC, Washington D.C., Maryland, Northern Virginia. Well, of course Virginia, but especially Northern Virginia. We're up in Northern VA, and what? There's a base. There's a base, Salakia, in I think it was Hagerstown, if I'm not mistaken, and they had what? They had those trucks with water cannons on them, stuff like that, And what you think? You think that's just there just for show? You think Esau's just showing off, man? Nah, man. They plan on using that stuff, man. All right. They plan on they're gonna come down with great wrath, man. Like the scriptures say, man. The devil.
I got that right here.
Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, both the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down upon you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Right, exactly. And, Esau, Edom is, the devil, man. They are the devil, the white man, the so-called white man, Salakia, because their biblical nationality is Edomites. They're Edomites. They come from a man named Esau. And let's see. So that's all the precepts we had.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much what we wanted to go into. Speaking on the famines. And Lord willing, we're gonna make a part 2. All right, going more into what exactly was gonna befall us. Retouching on it, and even for the hopeful elect, also going into the good side of it, where we will be delivered, Lord willing. We're part of that number. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all the precepts we had.
Come.
All right. So with that, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, all right? The men who rule well and the men who taught us the truth, all right? And a sincere shalom wa barakim to all you brothers out there pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, and a sincere shalom wa barakim to the elect, the nation of Israel. Shalom.
Shalom.